and it is seen that with increase in initial temperature the burn rate varies like this. This is for as given initial temperature, that is Tn1 So, the initial temperature 3 is greater than initial temperature 2, which is greater than initial temperature 1. So, the burn rates are seen to increase with increase in initial temperature, and they are also seen to increase with increase in pressure. Now, why on a log-log plot? Simply because if you have a variation that is following a power law, then when you plot it on a log-log scale, what you will get is a straight line. Okay. So, that is why these are plotted on a log-log plot, and we can get the expression for burn rate as follows. R dot is given by A P c to the power of n, where P c is the chamber pressure, and n is the pressure index, and A is burn rate at unit pressure. That is, if you look at this graph, when P c is equal to 1, what is the burn rate that you will get? As I said, if you plot on a log-log plot anything that follows a power law, it will be straight line. So, if you take log of that, you will get log R dot is equal to log A plus n log P c. So, n is the slope and A is the burn rate at unit pressure. So, the slope of this will be n, and its intercept on the y axis will be the unit burn rate. Okay. Now, this A has embedded in it the initial temperature variation part also. If you look at this equation, we had said that it varies both on chamber pressure and initial temperature. Chamber pressure is very obvious there. The initial temperature part is embedded in the A. We will see how it is. A is given as A naught into exponential of sigma into sigma is known as the initial temperature sensitivity, and Tin naught is some reference initial temperature. And A naught is the value of A at that reference initial temperature. Okay. And if you work this out, you can get the expression for sigma and n. N will be very simple. N is nothing but logarithmic derivative of burn rate with respect to pressure will give us n. Okay. And sigma is logarithmic derivative of burn rate with respect to initial temperature. Okay. This we can simplify it further. N I can write it as log R2 minus okay. So, that will give you the slope. So, that is, if you know the burn rate at two different pressures, you can calculate the slope in this fashion. It is nothing but discretization of that equation that we have written there. And similarly, sigma I can rewrite it as 1 by r dot into dr dot by Tin. That is, we are taking the logarithmic derivative here and taking the r dot out. Okay. And similarly, if you discretize this, you will get this, if you look at it, is a non-dimensional quantity, whereas this will have a 1 by Kelvin unit. Okay. The unit of this is 1 by Kelvin, and because it is usually very small, it is usually expressed as a percentage. Okay. So, you will have it as percentage 1 by Kelvin. Let us look at the values of density, typical burn rates that are possible, and the pressure indices and temperature sensitivity for the two propellants, homogeneous and heterogeneous. If you look at homogeneous propellant, typically the density will be of the order of 1600 kg per meter cube, then n varies between 0.6 to 0.8. It is very high primarily because we have mixed the fuel and oxidizer at a molecular level, and therefore, its combustion will be something like a premixed flame, and which is the reason why we get a higher N. We will see how to get to this a little later in the course, and the sigma values are around 0.3 to 0.6 Kelvin inverse. And similarly, for heterogeneous propellants, the density is around 1700 to 1800 kg per meter cube, depending on the composition. If you have a highly aluminized propellant, it goes towards this end. Then the index here, if you remember, the ingredients are mixed in a mechanical fashion, and therefore, you will not go into this, the combustion of this will be more diffusion dominated, and therefore, you will find the burn rate pressure index lower in this case, something like 0.3 to 0.4, and the initial temperature sensitivity will be of the order of please remember, it is a percentage, which means the actual value will be 0.0025 Kelvin inverse. Okay. Now, what do these quantities mean to us in terms of how do they affect the thrust of the rocket motor? We will see that next. Firstly, let us take the initial temperature sensitivity, right. Why is initial temperature sensitivity very important? It will not be so important for a launch vehicle industry, primarily because you can choose the time and place of the launch. That is, the place will be usually fixed. Okay. In India's case, we launch it from Sriharikota. So, the place is fixed, and you can choose the time such that the temperature is within a certain bounds. Okay. But whereas, for any military application, depending on the temperature variation, temperature will vary both day and night, and also from place to place. So, usually any missile will have to take into account -50 to +70, okay, temperature variation of -50 to +70. Now, what does this, how does this affect what we are talking about? If you recall, the burn rates were higher at a higher initial temperature and lower at a lower initial temperature. So, if burn rates, the motor is going to be the same irrespective of which place you launch it from, right, and if you are launching from different places which are at different temperatures, then the thrust